Hello, hello, everybody. Here we are. This is the day. At least I've been waiting for. Well, Paco too. What a ride, guys. What a ride. The past 4 weeks has been, well, wild. And today is the day we can finally open doors to our members for the all new productivity operating system. That's what it literally is. I googled this word and many claim that is the case for few installations or methodologies or whatever. But this is it. This is your single source of truth when it comes to understanding your productivity end to end. And let's not talk too much. Let's show it, right? So I see members are in. Hey, Clinton in the membership. I see also you guys on YouTube. Great. Hi there. Well, here it is. This is my tool stack, my personal productivity tool stack, and it is digitally visualized. Those who are following the paperless movement may know the myICOR framework that we used for over a year already with our members, I think 2 years already, where our members can lay out their tools on this myICOR framework that just represents your productivity system end to end. Quickly for understanding, we have here the personal knowledge management, the personal project management, which is the task management, the project management, which is the business part, and the business knowledge management. And this is confusing maybe for many to start with. And this is now the beauty that we cannot replicate on paper or having it on a Miro board and laying our apps there. We have to have it in this way. And now this application allows us so many things to have deep insights in our individual productivity setups. This is what I'm really waiting for you guys to get in there and lay out your tools this way. Because look at this, now we can just simply switch the view and focus on our personal area, the personal knowledge management, the personal project management, or the business area, or just the information, personal knowledge management, personal business knowledge management, or then the action part, the personal project management and the business project management. Guys, this is just the beginning, as you now can zoom into each tool and lay out your things. And we will do this in a moment from scratch with a new account. And here I'm just sharing my own tool stack because this is now the beauty. I can lay out my own tools. Paco will also add his tools there. And then you can see what tools we are using if you're interested in, but also what other people are using of the community. So if we look at this is your personal area, right? Where you can lay out all the details, make all the notes about it. By the way, you can write down your pros and cons. It will get saved. You will be able to select your secondary categories for tools. So for example, the moment you place it in personal project management, based on the myICOR methodology, you get access to the secondary categories of this main category, which are then tasks, speedies, daily, weekly, planner, calendar, events. This is what you then can define the tool for. So here I say Todoist, I'm using it for personal project management. I'm using it but only for tasks and my speedies, which are tasks less than 15 minutes. But I'm not using for anything else. And now you see the other tools showing up here that I already connected it to. So here we go, Sansama. You see the connections. It's a satellite application. This means this won't work without a core application connected. Now I can open this up. And here I see the secondary categories I'm using Sansama for. And yeah, sorry for choppiness. A lot of things are running on my M1 MacBook, but you will see it in 60 FPS live once you get access after the live stream to this tool too. So I hope you still are able to see what I'm sharing here in general. Okay, this is just the beginning because this is you but you also have the option then to share this publicly. So you have a public page that is interactive and you can share on social media with anyone who is not a member, and you say, this is my tool stack, and they can even switch the views there and see the details that whatever you publicly share, right? And this is it. And you can hide also the connections. So going back, you have the connections here. We can hide individual connections to make it easier to view. And if you wonder about the choppiness, look at the top here, right? It's really on the edge for everything, even for MacBook Pro, maxed out M1. This is too much. It's not the application, luckily. It is the streaming on all these channels and recording and all these things in the backend. So sorry about that. Okay, so how does this look for a new member? So if you start new, there's a lot more than just this myICOR framework that we get out of this. So let's start from scratch. Let's quickly let's quickly log into the other account. 1 second, and feel free to ask any questions. That's what this live stream is for. In the meantime, I'm logging in with a test account that you will see what you will be able to do. Of course, always when you try, okay, got it. All right. Now it seems everything starts freezing. Not good. I hope you guys can at least hear me properly. Still, or maybe it's crashing now. Who knows? I see at least my app is properly running. One more sec, I have to fix something. One sec, we're nearly there. Now, so you see my screen again? No? What the heck? Why am I not sharing my screen anymore? Okay, now it's switching. Well, besides all these streams, I have 3 displays running on this thing. Good. So you're still not seeing my screen. You're seeing the wrong screen, actually. I don't know what the heck is going on. Guys, bear with me. Completely normal launch here. That's exactly what you would expect on a live stream. What the heck? Let's see. Yeah, you just see this stupid wrong display. I don't know why it's not switching. Let me see if I can do it this way. No, I cannot switch my screens. Okay. Let's try it a different way. Now, okay, you're not seeing me, but at least you see the screen. Maybe it's even smoother now. Okay. All right, obviously, that's the demo effect, as Walter says in the chat. That's what we expect. Guys, we are back. I hope you see the screen properly now. And this is when you log in as a new user right now. With a warning on top that will go away in nearly 2 days, a bit less. That when you get access later, that when you get access later, that we are still on a early access, right? So whenever you do something, I'm waiting for your bug fixes, your requests for bug fixes, right? So we can smash as many bugs as possible until the launch in July the 2nd. And you can click on report a bug. And the beauty is we are uncanny. So you see not only the bugs, you see the features, you see our roadmap. And this is already directly integrated with the tool too. So we are always improving our products based on community feedback. And there's no easier way to do this now by going to your profile and then just request a feature, report a bug, and that's the easiest way. So the key here, this is your dashboard, right? And this dashboard is not showing anything because the idea of recommendations inside this tool is not based on what sponsor paid the most for the application that we feature, but it is based on actual data that you will provide. And therefore we need to have the system check going. All right, so that's the all new productivity system check. If you have done this in the past, it's a complete different thing now. In the past, we had some questions to figure out how good or bad your system is working. Now we have a comprehensive set of questions, actually 59 questions that are directly tied to our myICOR methodology. So each question represents one of the concepts or workflows of the myICOR methodology, which defines then a productivity system end to end. Okay, so this will identify how good your system works in digital note-taking, personal knowledge management, task management, and so on. So each question not only gives you a yes and no, it has all the details here. Okay, so you can have a drop down. You see, this is about develop your thinking. What is develop your thinking? Why do you this question need? Tips about how to improve this thing. And you can even take your personal private notes about your progress and so on about this specific question already. So let's randomly go through these answers quickly to lay them out. Hopefully you do this properly, right? Think about each one. It will be crucial to get real information. Otherwise, it won't be helping you at all if you just do it like me, you know, not reading the question, just widely clicking. That's not helping you at all, 100%. But once you go through these questions and just try to do, you still can go through them quickly, you know. Once you finish them, you have all your questions still there because this is your productivity operating system. This always shows you the quality of your productivity system. So this means if you want to, you see now the issues that you have. When you go back to the dashboard, now you see always how good you are in the different states. And let's say, man, I really suck on project management. You just click there, it will open up your questions and filter out just the questions that you answered with no, depending on project management. But this goes way beyond because still we have not any recommendations yet. This is where your tool stack comes into play. So you're already using tools and now you just start laying them out very easily. You go to the search field and you start searching for your tools. Maybe you're using Obsidian, right? I don't know, Todoist. Maybe in combination with Apple Notes. Maybe you're stuck in Outlook and you have to use Microsoft Teams or whatever, right? who knows, as a busy professionals, these can be really wild, and it makes it so difficult to give you the right recommendations just based on a single question, what is the best note-taking app? We have to have a holistic view on this to understand how we improve the overall productivity system in this way, okay? And once you edit this, and we love inboxes, now you have the inbox with all the tools that you just brainstormed and spit out on there. Now you can start calmly in the next step thinking about how do they actually work in my overall productivity system. So here we have PKM and so on, but you will see when I drag this on, you see there's a batch showing up what I'm adding this to. So it's PKM. Here it's the overlap of PKM and PPM. So if I drop it here, it means I'm using the tool for both PPM. And then you see, depending on it, if I'm in a center, obviously I'm using this tool for everything, which is nothing that we ever have seen would work for anyone. But nevertheless, let's say you're using Obsidian for both, as this is many people claim that they do it, right? They have even a task management in there. You open this up and you see this orange border just indicates that the data inside the tool is not filled out yet. And here you go. This is now the rating. We thought a lot about how we want to implement a rating system for the tools. And we don't want to have a 5-star rating or something like that because it's not saying anything. This is actually just an indicator now telling you, but also others, how integrated this tool is in your tool stack. So we have 3 different things. If you're still testing the tool and still exploring, you have looking actively for something else, or you have deeply integrated into your system already. So let's collect this. So depending which one you're selecting, you see that's highlighting. Then you can enter pricing, what you're paying for. Maybe you're using Obsidian for free, so let's keep it at 0. You see already, you use Obsidian for these two because we placed it already in the myICOR framework. So therefore, I see this. And and Walter asks a very nice question in the member chat. Actually, is there also an ability to show set if a tool is used on desktop or on mobile? And I just, in the last days, added this too. So you will see when we fill out the metadata for the tool that we will get there. So based on this, I get the secondary fields, right? If I would have placed it just in PKM, I only get the secondary fields for the PKM area. That makes it easier to focus really what this tool is all about. So let's stay in PKM only to make things easier, right? So now I can decide what am I using this for. And instead of having generic categories that you see on all these tool comparison platforms, these are all deeply thought concepts and workflows based on myICOR. So everything has a definition behind what actually inner world means, outer world, deep thinking, shallow thinking. All these things are myICOR terms or defined by myICOR methodology. And that's why the tool is also just for members. You need to have the option to immediately go to the relevant content to better understand what you're using the tool for. And you see this in a moment when we laid out the details. So let's say I'm using Obsidian only for deep thinking in my inner world, and you see the outer border disappears now. Here we see already how other people are using Obsidian. So I have a test account where I added this too. That's why everything is on 100%. Currently there are 3 or 4 users, test users that I created. But the moment we open doors, this is where it will be a community-driven comparison tool. You will see this, how this turns out. And here, Walter, there we go. Devices and platforms. All right. You click here, add devices and platforms, and now you can choose what devices and platforms you're using the tool on. So maybe you're using it only on laptop or desktop on Windows. And maybe you're also using it on your smartphone on iOS. Who knows? Maybe this way, so you can select more of them. And you save it. That's it. All right. Now you have it there. And that's a good point. And I just thought we have to have this because also this will give us great insights on how other people are using it. And don't worry about this pricing. There's a little bug that this is not updating. And then we can write down the pros. I don't know, connecting nodes is great. And for the cons, I don't know. I have many cons in mind, but let's figure, nothing. Maybe you're a diehard fan of this thing. Okay, so now you edit the information. That's not a required field here, but these are required. So we can give you the right recommendations. Now we have Obsidian here placed there, right? And there's also the real-time update. We need to fix a bug. And now you see the outer border is gone. Now when you go back to dashboard, now you see recommendations coming up. And this is based on the answers that you answered with no and the tools that you're using in a specific concepts or workflows based on the secondary categories that you're using the tool for. Sounds complex, doesn't matter. The important thing is that it will automatically show you the relevant information. And you see this concept is used in Obsidian, the tool that you placed the secondary in, right? So when I click on this, it opens up the system check and scrolls to the relevant question and it gives you the details, all right? So you said no here. But what about if you say yes and then I go back and this disappeared, all right? Well, let's search for this question once more. And here we have it, all right? So you can pin a question and we have added this bookmark icon so you can pin questions. Why? Because maybe you say yes, but you want to keep improving in this area. So when you pin it, it shows you still the recommendations. That just ensures if you're interested in further improving and you want to have the relevance with your tools, this is still showing up. Well, and here I can then take some notes. And this is real-time updated, and this is just private to you, okay? So by adding some nodes, you get a new filter that says, just filter all the things that has nodes, okay? That makes it easier to keep track of all these things. Well, I think we go back to my tool stack. And well, first, let's go here, find tools, all right? This will be the community-driven tool finder. That's where everything comes together. And the beauty about this is, if I go here, you see there's no industry added. So let's update this, and this is not refined yet. Okay, so there will be a place to do this. You can always do it in your profile finder here. Let's do something. And focus area, okay. And now when I'm here on the dashboard, it shows for who I am. But if I'm here, I can say now me, and it filters the tools below by all the tools other users of the same categories are using, right? So obviously, as we just have 3, it's unlikely that I picked the right 3 ones, but once we have the thousands of members in there and we open the doors to our thousands of members, and we start filling in all our insights, this will become really interesting, because now you can really say, man, I'm looking for tools that other CEOs are using too. And what are CEOs using for PKM actually, right? And there you see then the distribution of how other users are placed these tools in. So if more users are placing Notion in, I don't know, BPM and things like that, you will see percentage differences like here, right? Where one user is placing it, or both users are placing it for PKM, but one user is also placing it inside PKM. And this is again, as I say, it's just the beginning. You have the filters for the desktop, the platforms, and so on. And this was the, let's switch and let's see. Okay, you see myself? I hope so. This was really the tricky thing. I launched a note-taking tool comparison platform in 2018 on the website. For those of you following me for that long with the paperless movement, may remember. This was successful, but I already struggled with something that I realized again in 2022 when we launched the myICOR tool finder on the website too. The problem with all these tool finders and the comparison platforms is that somebody has to feed it with the correct information. And the public information about the tools, if you're not properly reviewing the tools, it will always be too blurry. So if let's say ClickUp, right? And you want to list out all the features ClickUp has, it will has all the features that are probably possible. They will say they are knowledge management system, they are CRM system and all these things. So this is nonsense. These comparison platforms don't properly provide you the information about the tools, what the people are using the tools for really. And that's why now with the myICOR methodology, we have the foundation with our members who understand the myICOR methodology, and we did these myICOR frameworks with our coaching program where we already coached hundreds, well, before the coaching program, thousands of people we coached one-on-one and then now in the group coaching, right? All these insights go into this where we found a way now to connect the tool agnostic concepts and workflows with tools. And with your own tools. And by just simply laying out your own tools, the way you use them and get an understanding, we will automatically build up a real database with real world information how these tools are used. And that's what excites me so much. And obviously now you could think about, what about the data quality, you know, maybe people don't understand how to position the tools and so on. Yes, this is where we need to have the masses. So we believe that most people will place it right, and with the right education, they will do so. And that's why it's not publicly, you know, accessible for everybody to use and lay out the tools, because this is what I worried a lot about, is the data quality. So that's why it's only for our members. And then we can also correlate the productivity system level, the percentage that people have in there with their tool stacks to see, you know, if somebody is 100% productive, maybe this tool stack is more relevant for more people and so on. We can go wide from this to help everybody work, you know, everybody in this movement to find the perfect tool stacks that they need. And we have something here as well, like you see on Amazon, right? Those who are using Todoist, people using Todoist are also using, well, right now there's nothing showing up, but it will later on when we start filling in the information. So we filtered by something else, but I'm sure that you will see. So when I say heptabase, I think I have in the other accounts too. Let's place it here, and then let's filter out by heptabase. Okay, well, it's not showing up, doesn't matter. It will once you guys come in here and start filling out your myICOR frameworks. And without, you know, the tool finder, it will give you already so much insight to get a better understanding how you use the tool for. And now let's switch back to my main account and let's go to the tool stack section here. Here again, it's a section where we now get, based on what you filled out here, even deeper insights on how you use your tool stack. And here you see the calculation of the monthly cost. Oh, sorry guys, not seeing my screen. Man, now I showed all this. So let's quickly go back to find tools. All right, so here, that's what I meant. So if I click on Todoist, it will filter out all the other users using Todoist, what other tools they are using, right? And that's what you see on Amazon too. You have here the button to show only tools that are also executives, consulting, and so on. So this will be amazing. And once we all have this in place, or, you know, once you guys start adding the data, this becomes much more relevant, which is not right now with my 3-4 test accounts. But here, this is what you already get out by just simply adding your own tool stack. That's a tool stack overview now that gives you the total monthly cost. For example, right? Here I went through all the tools and I entered the price for all the tools, you know, that I'm using, and now I finally can keep track of what I'm paying on a monthly basis for all my tools. And you know, are they really relevant? Are they core applications, or is it just something nice, even based on the core categories? This is a breakdown. I think this is already worth using the tool, in my opinion. So many people keep complaining about all the different subscriptions they have running. Well, now you can make informed decisions and identify what is costing you the most. Here you have a breakdown of the core applications that you're using, the satellite apps, you have the secondary categories, and you see where there are still gaps in the secondary categories where you haven't applied any tool yet. And this being said, shallow thinking I already have, so it seems I didn't select it here. So here we go, outer world and shallow thinking. That's what I'm using Reader for. And now it appears in here too. And handwriting, well, that's something we will add later. Platform usage. Here is now the breakdown, Walter, with what platforms I'm using the tools for and the operating systems and so on. You see the connections, and well, we didn't even talk about the connections. There might be also core-to-core application connections. That's something we weren't able to represent in our static myICOR framework that we had so far. Now, let's say you're using Gmail integrated in ClickUp. You just hover over it and say make a direct connection. And there you go. Now you have a direct connection. And this also will show you here, you know, when other people have also connected ClickUp to something else, they show you what they are connected it to. And obviously that's where we need to have the members in to really see this showing up. And that's why we need to have the bug fixing phase, so we ensure that these things are really showing up. But you already get deep insights here. Gmail, I integrated it with Sansama. I have a direct connection to ClickUp. I can click on it. I open up ClickUp card and so on. And that's, I love it, man. This is really, to me, a complete different game now that we are playing here when it comes to laying out the tools. And obviously for all the videos on YouTube, I will use this for all the videos on whenever we talk about tool comparison and so on too. There will be another thing for launch, which is save snapshots. So you will be able to save these as a snapshot and then go back and forth in time to see the tool stacks that you had before. And which is a versioning. Something else we have planned is, you know, if you have multi-businesses, maybe you want to have different sections for your different business parts here, where you see then the different tools that you use in the different businesses. Well, depending on the requests that we get inside the feature request, we will update this accordingly. I think I covered it all. I think so, yeah. I think that's a lot that we can launch with, and that's already giving you the... Oh, well, obviously what I didn't show you, it's not just this short section here. As a member, when you click here, learn how, you will go directly to the membership and open up the relevant lesson to see now exactly how you can improve, you develop your thinking. That's obviously one of the key features, right? So this now allows you for the things that you are not good at, and you're already going through the myICOR journey inside the membership, right? So let's say here, you're going through this myICOR journey and you say, well, I went through all it, but I still haven't got the point. This will help you to identify the place that you're still not good at. You can filter by these and now focus on these three things. You get the recommendation based on the tools that you use here, you know, for these things. If I pick some that is actually relevant here, right? And then you can stay focused on what you want to improve on. And yet you can even take your notes here to really have your single source of truth. But no matter which one you go for, you will always be able, with just a simple click of a button, to open up the relevant lesson. See, when I open up this one, now it goes to the PKM. I'm in a lesson for Discover and I get the magic slide and the video, and then you can start commenting on it too. yeah, that's where we say it's deeply integrated. Also, the tool discussions is something that's coming. It won't happen inside the tool. There will be a button where you go then into the into the membership, and then in the tool discussions, and based on the hashtag, it will allow you to search for the different discussions going on around the tools. All right, so how do you access it? Well, wait for it. After I finish this live call, I will make some final pushes, and then inside the membership, stay tuned here in our dedicated myICOR space here, okay? There you will get the information how to access the app, and then feel free to keep using the chat inside this section to share anything if you have struggled to log in. But once you are in and you have some issues, please then use the report a bug or request a feature. So guys, what do you think? Is it something you might be using? It's not a separate product. As we keep expanding the offerings to our existing members, there's no additional costs or any upselling or anything like that. It is just for our members, and you get this on top of everything else that we offer inside the membership already. And if you're not a member yet and you're watching this on YouTube, this is the moment. You have a 3-day trial. If you sign up now, you can test everything for free. 3 days is enough to figure out if this is for you, but you will see there's so much going on in order to improve your productivity system. If you're really serious about it, that you probably want to stay for longer. Okay, everybody, this was it. And I catch you up inside the membership in a moment. See you there.